2025 is coming to an end. You let all your goals, you let all your dreams and aspirations slip out of the palm of your hands. You said 2025 was going to be your year. You say it every year. Didn't happen. In order to dominate 2026, you need to hone in and you need to have these three things in order to dominate. One, your body. You have to have the body that you desire. You have to have a cold physique. It's as simple as that. You know how it is on January 1st. Here comes all the New Year, New Me motherfuckers. They loading Planet Fitness up. The gym is crowded. They're all in there doing all the workouts they can, not knowing what the fuck they're doing. You need to set yourself apart from those people, for starters. Don't be the guy that goes balls to the wall January 1st in the gym, doing all these different types of workouts, trying all these different types of diets, not knowing what the fuck they're doing. And what you're going to do, ultimately give up. You're going to ultimately give up, be like, by February 1st, you're cooked. You're going to be right back to how you were 2025. You need to go in there with a plan. If you don't know what you need to do, get you a coach. If you can't afford a coach, Google, Chat GPT. It's so much information nowadays. But the real problem isn't the information. You know how to lose weight. The problem isn't the information. The problem is you and your discipline. But we're going to get into that. But if you're having problems with losing weight or gaining weight, if you need to gain weight, calorie surplus. If you need to lose weight, calorie deficit. Track your macros. Track what foods you're eating. You know the things that you need to do in order to get your body right. It just comes down to you executing that shit and you staying disciplined with that shit and you staying consistent with that shit. But you need to have in your mindset that in order to dominate 2026, I gotta look like a person that is dominant. Simple as that. Get your calories on point. Get your workouts on point. Workouts, I'll give you a gym right now. Push, pull, legs. Upper, lower. Try those two splits. See which one works best for you. Or upper, or full body. Full body is good for beginners. Just don't go crazy. Don't burn yourself out. Like, oh, I gotta get my body right, man. I'm so fat, bro. I'm gonna eat 1,800 calories. I'm gonna eat salads and chicken breasts. And yeah, bro, I'm gonna do 2 hours of cardio. You're gonna burn yourself out, bro. You're gonna burn yourself out, man. Just get you a solid routine, a solid plan. Go to the gym 3 to 5 days a week. Starting off, if you're a beginner, I would say start off 3 days a week. Upper, lower. Upper body, lower body. Upper body, lower body. Or not upper, lower. 3 days a week, push, pull, legs. 4 days a week, upper, lower. Simple as that. You got to look like somebody that is dominant. You have to have dominant aura. What comes with dominant aura? A dominant physique. Simple as that. Number 2, discipline. That ties back into number 1. Discipline. In order to dominate 2026, you have to be disciplined. And not even with just fitness, discipline in all areas of your life. You need to be disciplined in fitness. You need to be disciplined in your financials. You don't need to be going out there and buying shit that you know that you don't need to buy. You don't need to go out there and buy a new car. You don't need to go out there and buy a new chain when that doesn't go with your structured budget. If you're not in the position to be spending that kind of money, then you don't need to be doing it. Simple as that. You need to be disciplined. Not saying you need to be a cheapskate and not enjoy life, but you need to be disciplined. How you build discipline is doing the things that you don't want to do on a consistent basis. You think I always feel like getting up and going to the gym at 5 a.m. in the morning? No, I don't feel like doing that shit all the time. But you know what? I do it. Why? Because I am disciplined to do it. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is structured. I structure my life a certain way so that I can follow it despite how I feel. You can't listen to your feelings all the time because your feelings aren't consistent. Feelings change. Motivation doesn't exist. I always say that. Motivation doesn't exist. Because when you're not motivated, what are you going to do? You're going to not do the shit that you're supposed to be doing. Your discipline has to be on point in order to dominate 2026. That's the difference between the average motherfucker, like you are now, and the person that is successful. It's the discipline. The last thing you need to have in order to dominate 2026 is you need to have higher standards, better standards for yourself. A lot of y'all don't have high standards for yourself. A lot of y'all have negative self-talk. A lot of y'all have a negative vision of yourself. You need to look at yourself in higher regards. You need to take care of yourself in higher regards. You don't have high standards if you decide to put bullshit in your body, like food, like bullshit food and alcohol and drugs. If you're destroying your body, you don't care about yourself. What does that mean? Your standards for yourself are very low. If you're watching adult content, you know what I mean. If you're watching adult content multiple times of the week, you don't have high standards for yourself. You look at yourself in a low regard. You look at yourself in a low state of mind, a low vibration. You need to raise your vibration in order to dominate 2026. Take care of yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually. And you may say, how do you do that? How do I have better standards for myself? Well, you want a better life, don't you? Look at the person. Use somebody as an example of your ideal life. Think about your ideal identity, your ideal life. How does that person think? How does that person walk? How does that person talk? What does that person look like? What is that person's job? How much money that person is making? The person that you desire. Think about that for a second. How do you think that person achieves all of those things that you desire? That person achieves those things because they think higher of themselves. They think that they deserve them things. So that means that their standards are high enough to have those things. Stop taking less than what you deserve. Stop accepting less than what you deserve. A lot of y'all are better than working at a 9 to 5, but you accept that shit because it's comfortable, because your standards aren't high enough to think of yourself as better than that. You're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna, and there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. Don't get me wrong. I've talked about this numerous times. There's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. I'm not saying go quit your job. That's not what I'm saying. But if you know that you got skills and you got potential, hidden potential, and you know that there's more to life than a 9 to 5, than having that standard of a 9 to 5, you want more things in your life, more time in your life, more access to women, better access to women. If you know that you want better shit, change your standards. A person with low standards isn't dominant. They don't think of themselves as a person that can succeed, man. In order to get the life, and this is an extra little gem, in order to get the life that you want, in order to get the life that you think you deserve, you have to think that first. You have to think that you deserve that shit. You have to have that self-belief. A lot of y'all are lacking self-belief. A lot of y'all are lacking a vision. So you don't think of yourself as higher. You don't think of yourself as somebody that can accomplish anything that's great because you've been surrounded by mediocrity your whole entire life. Change your standards and you will succeed. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. I got one-on-one mentorship program going on right now, one-on-one coaching, helping guys raise their standards, helping guys become dominant in 2026. If that's something that you're interested in, I got a couple guys right now. I'm accepting a few more. Click the link in the description below. See if I can help you out. Book a free call. I appreciate you. Peace out.